me just increase this. I'll put my lights on in a sec. So for the beginning of tonight's practice, we are going to be working on 3-part breath. So for this practice, you can do this sitting or lying. It's totally up to you. So please choose a position that works best for you, that allows you to breathe with ease. I love it. There's a bit of in and ahhing going on. Shall I sit? Shall I lie down? What shall I do? Okay. But whatever you have chosen, whichever position that you've chosen for the start of the practice, you're going to be here for a few minutes. So make sure that it's comfortable and begin to settle your bones into the shape. Release your shoulders down away from your ears. Relax your jaw. And begin to let the area of the abdomen relax. Make sure that your clothes are not too tight around your waist. And begin to direct your attention to your breath, which is coming in and out through your nose. If, however, you're feeling a little bit congested tonight, then please exhale through your mouth if necessary. So, encourage your breath and your breathing to be slow, steady, and deep. As you breathe in, let the breath expand the belly, so the belly inflates like a small balloon. And as you breathe out, the belly deflates gently down. Continue with this for another couple of breaths as you get used to belly breathing. So last week we divided the abdomen into the 3 sections, the lower, the middle, and the upper. And we travelled the breath through the 3 regions, and I'd like us to start to do that with just a gentle moving up and down of the breath. So if the breath begins at your belly at the start of the inhalation, as you continue to breathe in, the breath travels higher up towards the collarbones. And then on the exhalation, you start from the top and you exhale down to the belly. Can you regulate that into your body? Can you find a pattern and a rhythm and create a natural movement of your breath, albeit through these 3 zones? Such a lovely way to work on the concentration of the mind. But please don't panic if you find that your mind is wandering and you lose the rhythm or whatever happens. Then don't get too cross with yourself. Just come back to the sound of my voice or come back to your breathing whenever that happens. So we've divided, or we're breathing through the three zones. Now we're going to divide them into clear, distinct areas. So the bottom is number 1, the middle is number 2, and the top is number 3. As you breathe into zone number 1, which is your belly, that's your number 1. You're going to count, or you're going to say to yourself the word 1. Then you're going to take some of your breath into the middle region, the low ribs, and that you're going to say number 2 to yourself, just 2. And then you're breathing into the top, and it's going to be 3. So quite straightforward. 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1 on the exhale. So get that into a routine and a rhythm that works. So it's starting the breath at the bottom, moving up. So 1, 2, 3, exhale, 3, 2, 1. And those numbers and the amount of time you spend there can be entirely up to you. I'm not worried about the length of it at the moment. I'm just worried about distinguishing the two zones. Because what we're going to add next is a retention of the breath. So when we say to ourselves number 1 at the bottom, you're going to pause and hold your breath and repeat 1. Then you're going to breathe into number 2 and say 2, and pause and repeat 2 for the pause. Then it's 3, and then hold the breath and say 3. Exhale, 3, pause 3, 2, pause 2, 1, pause 1. Does that make sense? So you're just saying the numbers 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and then in reverse, but with a pause in between each section. So this is how we take our breathing to another, a next stage, a next level, because we're working with these breath retentions, which can take a little bit of getting used to. So please don't feel, that you have to get it perfect straight away. Okay. Do this for 2 more rounds of your breath. And then when you're ready, let your breath return to its own natural rhythm. Find an ease there. And check in with how you feel, and check in with how you found the practice, because this is important in our own awareness of our development. It's when we practice poses, we can see how the pose grows and improves and develops, because we can look at the depth or the position that we can come into. With breathwork, it's different. So I want you to think, could you concentrate on this? Could you hold your attention on it? How were the retentions themselves? Were they easy to do? Did you find it confusing? Was it annoying? All of these things. Or if you just found it a very pleasant experience, and maybe that's reinforced by how you feel now at the end, just a sense of a bit more space, a bit more ease, like you've let go of some of the stress of the day. So it's always good to take a little mental check-in, even though, remember, these breathwork practices, they don't have to be complicated. It is often the most simplest of things that can do us the most help, or to offer us the most help. And also the simple things are the ones we're more likely to do off of the mat. So these are things that you can do at any other stage in your day if you just need to find some more concentration or relieve a bit of stress from yourself. All right. Okay, my love. So if you were in the sitting up choices, I'd like you to now come and lay down on your mat, please. And I'm going to come and join you. Okay. So I'd like you to find a comfortable position. And those of you that have been lying here for a little while already, please feel free to have a stretch or a move around as necessary. If you're happy, can you bend your knees and place your feet onto the floor, knees quite wide apart? And we'll just start with a gentle warm up of the body. So we're going to rock the knees from side to side, please. So we're not trying too hard here. We're just getting used to moving the hips, lubricating the spine, just kind of intent on putting some space back in the body. Okay. Come back towards the center when you're ready. Pick your feet up off of the floor and you can put a hand on each kneecap if you like, and you're going to draw a circle with the knees. But remember, this is just about warming up. It's just about putting some space in and easing out any kind of tightnesses, tensions. And change direction. Good. Lovely. Pop the feet back down onto the mat for a moment and we'll move our attention into the arms. So just do what you feel comfortable with this movement. But what I would encourage is if you've got some space to the side. If you haven't, if your space is limited, then please just make do with what you've got and modify as appropriate. So start with your hands down by your sides. And on an inhalation, float your arms up and over your head so they come downwards towards the floor by your ears, if you like. Then as you exhale, return the arms back down by your sides. That's it, lovely. Now take an inhale and keeping the arms close to the ground, sweep the arms wide and then so that they come alongside your ears. It's like you're drawing a big snow angel on the ground. So as you exhale, the arms are going to go out wide and round down by your sides back to where they began. Okay, so they are essentially our next couple of movements. So all I want us to do, we're going to do this together, is take an inhale and float the arms straight up and over to bring them down towards the ground, either side of the head. Then keeping the hands close to the ground, exhale them in your snow angel all the way around to the sides, back down by the sides of your body. And then we're doing this in reverse. We're going to inhale, snow angel arms out wide to the side as we bring the arms alongside the ears. And then exhale up and over. So a complete reverse movement as we finish the sequence. And that's it. We're going to keep going. So we're inhaling and the arms are up and over. Snow angel the arms round wide and down by your sides. Snow angel the arms back up. And arms up and over as you exhale to return back by your sides. Now you don't have to keep up with me. If I'm going too fast, you're very welcome to slow it right down and you move with your breath. You know your own breathing, but I'd encourage you to breathe slowly and not to rush. We haven't got anywhere that we need to be other than right here, right now, doing just this. Then finish the one that you're on. So it doesn't matter whereabouts you are in the sequence. Just keep going and move at your own pace. Bringing the arms back down by your sides when you're ready. That's lovely. Yeah, good. Okay, so now we're going to work the tummy. So we've warmed up the arms, we've warmed up the hips a little bit. Let's think about doing this. So bring one foot or both feet up into the air, it's up to you, and do some circles with your toes. Good, and then go the other way. Lovely. It's one of my most favourite sights is watching people's feet dancing on my little thumbnails. I should take a picture, really. In fact, it's done. Okay, so bring your feet back down to the ground and bend your knees, feet on the floor. Take your right foot back up to the ceiling and dorsiflex your ankle so that means the toes are pointing down towards your nose and the ankle is at a right angle. Flatten your lower back into the mat and gently, slowly lower a straight leg down to the ground until it almost touches the floor. Don't let it touch, just get almost there. Press out through your heel. Then point your toes and bring your straight leg back up towards the ceiling. Flex the ankles, press out through the heel, and then lower your straight leg. Try to keep your lower back flat and closer to the floor. Point the toes and lift the leg. Keep going. Dorsiflexion, straight leg, lower slowly so we get a little bit of burn happening. Point the toes, lift the leg up. We're going to do 2 more. Coming down, just go slowly, don't rush. Flat lower back. Point the toes, use the tummy muscles, leg back up. Last one, heel down. Toes point, leg lifts. Good. And bend the knee, place the foot back down onto the floor and just pause for a moment, take a breath, maybe shake it out with your legs or your hip if you need to. Okay, other side. So leg up into the air, dorsiflexion of the ankles, so toes point down to the nose, send out through the heel as much as you can, flat lower back into the mat, and then lower a straight leg down to the floor. Don't let it touch. Point the toes, bring the straight leg back up, and again, flex the ankle and lower the heel. Point the toes, return up, flex the ankle and bring it down. Point the toes, come up, keep going. It's 3 more. Two more. Last one. Perfect. And rest. Foot comes back down. Maybe you want to rock your knees side to side. Maybe you'd like to take a full body stretch, reaching your fingers long, pointing your toes, having a little wiggle. Okay, and then returning your arms back down by your sides. Bending the knees once more and placing the feet flat on the floor and bringing the heels in towards your bottom. We're working with bridge pose next, so we're now taking our attention into the strength of the legs, which is good, but also into the mobility of the spine and a little bit into the shoulders. So whenever you're ready, it's pressing into the feet, squeezing to lift the hips up, engaging the backs of the legs, rolling the spine off the floor to the height you want to go, and then gently rolling back down, slowly, slowly. Okay, and keep going. So you're pressing into the mat through the heels, engaging the muscles on the back of the legs and the buttocks, bringing the chest towards the chin, and then gently rolling back down again. Keep going, please. I'd like us to do maybe 3 or 4 more. Let's do last one. And back. Good. You might like to bring your feet, your knees in towards your chest. You could have a little hug, a little rock from side to side. Okay. So we're going to take a little bit of a stretch now for the front of the thighs to the quads. So what I'd like you to do is have the knees bent, the feet on the floor, and you're going to roll the knees to the left-hand side of your mat. And then if it's available to you, please don't worry if it isn't. You're going to take your hand and reach for your right foot. So your right hand is holding your right foot and it's bringing it closer towards your body. So you're bringing your heel closer towards your buttock and your right knee is pointing towards the end of your mat. It's not up here towards the ceiling, or at least as you're going to try and lower it. But as long as you're feeling a stretch on the front of your thigh, that's where I want you to go. Okay, so just stay here. Relax into it a little bit. Just allow the stretch to happen. Notice where you're feeling this. Is there any areas of tightness or restriction, resistance? Okay. And we'll stay for 3, 2, and 1. Let's come back up so the knees come back towards the center. Rock both knees over to the right and then reaching down with the left hand. See if you can hold your left foot and bring your left heel towards your sit bone and feel a stretch on the front of the left thigh. You might get a stretch also into the hip, that's kind of bonus area. But as long as you've got it in the quads on the front of the thigh, this is a good thing. Okay, we're just going to hang out here. So relax into it a little bit as much as you can. Good, take another breath in. Another breath out, hold for 3, 2, 1. And gently return, come back towards the center and pick the feet off the mat, bring the knees towards the chest, have a little rock across the back of your body again. Okay, have a roll to one side and come over onto your tummy, please. So just do what you can, Fiona. So we're going to be on our front, but we're going to move our legs first of all. So that might be doable, but it's about being comfortable. So we'll see. You could do this, Fiona, standing up. So there is an option. You don't have to be on your front if you don't want to, because basically on your front, you're going to be like this. And I don't know how comfortable that is for your arm. So you could have your arm out the way. It doesn't matter. It's not an arm movement, but do be comfortable and do know that you can sit up. Sorry, or stand up to do this. So it's a bit of a weird one. I want you to turn your toes out to the side. So if you look at me, ordinarily I'd have my toes kind of roughly pointing back down the end of the mat. But I want you to turn your toes out to the side. So it's kind of like a weird lying position. You can do this one leg at a time. In fact, do this one leg at a time. Having both legs out wide to the side can work, but it's harder, okay? So the upper body is going to relax completely down. And all I want you to do is lift your right leg up, but keep your toes pointing to the side. Does that make sense? And lower it down. So this is going to really work into your the side of your thigh, into the side of the hip. It's going to work your glute medius. So you're coming up and down, up and down. Do what you can. Keep the toes pointing out to the side and just see how high. It's kind of deceptive, isn't it? It's like, oh, what is this all about? What is this strange sorcery? And I can't see all of your feet this time, moving around. Lift them higher. All right, one more. And rest. Rest that leg. And we'll do the other leg. So the toes point out to the side, and then lift the leg and lower. Lift it, lower it, and keep the toes pointing out to the side whilst you lift. Okay, so one to remember for those of you looking to strengthen your legs, and also for those of you looking to work on your back bends. This is quite a nice leg strengthener to get the externals, part of the hips working. Do two more. And rest. Give the hips a little wiggle. Just pause, be soft, take an easy breath in. And an easy breath out. So, you have a choice now. We're going to take a little back bend. Again, this could be done standing or sitting, so it does not have to involve your arms unless you want it to. Some of you might feel that you're more comfortable being in a Sphinx back bend, and that might be appropriate for you, and you might just want to hang out here. And some of you might prefer to be in a cobra, so you're going to bring your hands closer towards your body, elbows in and chest lifting. Okay, so we're going to start in a low position. Now, if you're in Sphinx, the elbows are going to come out to the side. And as we all inhale, we're going to lift the head, the upper body and the shoulders. And the Sphinx people are going to bring the elbows back in because this is going to support you. Then as you exhale, the elbows go out wide to the side as you lower down. So this is just for the Sphinxes in the room. Up on the inhalation, down on the exhalation. The cobras in the room, don't need to worry about that. Just keep the elbows in. And remember, everybody, when you come up, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings to make your back bend a little bit stronger. Squeeze between the shoulder blades as well. Think about all the things we were doing last week. 2 more breaths, 2 more goes, 2 more lifts. Last one. Well done. And rest. Make a pillow for your head, a little shimmy of your hips. Pop your hands, if you can, under your shoulders. Lift yourself up to your hands and knees, please. Just make yourself comfortable. If you can be on your hands, please do. If you can't, then you could be up into this position and with a bent knee, and you're going to dance your hip in your tailbone in a circle. And for those that are on their hands and knees, you're going to do the same. You're just going to boogie it out of your hips a little bit so that there's an opportunity to loosen the lower back and change direction. Okay, so we're going to come into downward facing dog, and then we're coming up to stand. So tuck under the toes, press back through the tailbone, let the head hang. Actually, I made a bit of a boo-boo. We're not coming up to stand. I've forgotten a bit. But we are in down dog. So have a little pedal here. Enjoy a little stretch. Nice. Love it. Well done, everybody. Okay, and then pop your knees back down onto the mat. The next bit doesn't require much in the way of hands, you'll be pleased to hear. So we're back onto the knees. Pad out the knees if you need a little bit of extra cushioning there. And from this position, we're stepping the right foot forwards. Okay. Now do make sure it's a generous step forwards rather than a not generous. This is not okay. So this is the foot is way too close to the knee, and you're not going to have any range of movement here. So you want the foot further forwards. The hands can be on your hips, they can be on your thigh. It doesn't matter. We're going to lunge forwards and backwards now. If this isn't great for your knee, for the left knee, then you could tuck under the toes and lift the knee off of the floor and do the movement like this. Or you just put more padding underneath the knee. So the next time you come forwards, I'd really like you to squeeze your back thigh, and then to lift up from the lowest part, like the pubic bone area, all the way along the front of the body, right up to the collarbones. And maybe the hands can stay in prayer pose, prayer hands, or you can take the arms up, straight up to the ceiling is fine, or take the hands back as you open your chest some more. So do what you can, do what you feel comfortable with. That's lovely. I'm just having a watch, so I'm just seeing what you're doing. Breathing in and breathing out. Good job. Gently lower the hands back to hips or the knee. Step the right knee back and take the left foot forwards. Okay, just start with feeling your way into these movements and working out, what do I need to be comfortable here? Have I got the right position? Have I got enough padding for my knee? Okay. And so thinking about this thigh, give it a squeeze to the hamstrings, the glutes. Give it all a squeeze, because this holds you steady and stops you from over back bending. So hold that, feel that lovely stretch on the front of the right hip. You're sinking into the left hip, raising the arm. The arms can be at prayer or the arms can be up, reaching them up, lengthening from the pubic bone all the way to the collarbone so the whole front line gets longer, and then go into the back bend as deeply as you like. And gently come back out, softly and slowly. Stepping back, very nice. You can do your little hip boogie, or you can come into downward facing dog again. So pressing back through your thigh bones, hanging your head in between your arms. Nice long stretch of your body. Good. And then walking your feet towards your hands, and coming into a little forward fold just for a moment or two, hanging your head, holding your elbows if you like. But if you've had enough of head down and you want to come up to stand, please do so sooner. Take another breath in and another breath out before you gently come up to stand. Nice. Well done. Once here, give your shoulders a little rolly shrug backwards. Okay. And then turn sideways on your mat and stand with your feet a little bit wider apart, please. Okay. Elevate your arms up to about shoulder height. I'm going to step back a bit so you can see. You can turn your right toes out to the side a little bit. You're going to lean a bit over to the right, like the start of triangle pose. The left arm will come up like you're making a kind of 3 o'clock sign, I guess. This arm stays horizontal. You keep leaning, and it's as though this top arm, this left arm, wants to come and clap hands together, or you're holding a big beach ball in your arms. Hold this shape for 3, 2, 1. Bring the top arm back up and over, back to horizontal. Turn the right toes in. Let's bring the hands to the waist, actually. I was thinking that might be a bit mean to keep you in the air. Turn the left toes out a little bit to the side, like you're doing a mini triangle pose. Elevate the arms, turn the palms up. Reach a little bit across to the left. And then like you're taking a big clapperboard, you want to clap the right hand onto the left hand. Keep leaning, keep reaching, stay strong in the waist. Very good for toning the waist. Breathe in, breathe out. 3, 2, 1. And come back. Good, turn palms down, lower the hands, turn the right toes forwards. Just stand for a moment. Stand in mountain pose and register how that feels through your body. All right, so now you can shift so that you are facing the top of your mat, please. And I'm going to I think I'll be mirroring you, so we'll see how it goes. I want you to leave your right foot at the top of your mat and now step your left foot back behind it. So this is triangle pose we're setting up for. Normally we'd start facing sideways and turn the legs, but this time we've turned the body. So the right toes are pointing to the top of the mat. The left toes have turned it in at a bit of an angle. Inhale the arms up to shoulder height again. Reach the right fingertips back. Try and stay in a side bend shape rather than turning. So don't let your body turn to the ground. Keep it turning to the side. And then pivot downwards so that this hand can rest on the leg. It does not matter how low it gets to. And then work on your triangle shape. Pulling back through the left hip. Pressing into the floor through the left foot. Remember, option is to rest the hand onto the waist. You can look down, especially if you have high or low blood pressure. You might find these 2 options preferable so that your heart doesn't have to work too hard to regulate this pose. Okay, one more extra breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's look down. Put the hand onto the side of your waist. And then from here, you're going to step your left foot across to the long edge of your mat. And now this time, your torso, your hips, your tummy button, your heart can all face the floor. Both legs are staying straight. You're pulling back with your right hip crease and taking both hands forwards, just to your own measure. Now, if this is too strong, put your hands at your heart or put them back onto your waist. It's not a problem. Keep breathing. Use your tummy muscles here. Nice strong legs. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now, as we inhale, come up to stand. Inhale all of the way up. Bend your front knee and take a little back bend here, pressing into your back foot, opening the chest. Remember, hands can be here at your heart. Good. And then gently come back to center. Hands onto the waist, bend the front knee, step back up to the top of your mat. Good. Just take a breath or two, standing mountain pose, relax your shoulders again. Just feel, recognize how's the effort, how's the energy taking shape in your body. Okay, so the same two poses on the other side. So we'll start with the hands on the waist. We're going to leave the left foot at the top of the mat and step the right foot directly behind it. So I'm going to have my back to you a little bit for this bit. Elevate the arms to shoulder height, breathe in. And as you breathe out, reach towards the top of the mat and then lower the hand down. You can take the right hand into the air if you like, or remember your alternatives if you prefer. You do not have to look up, you can look out to the side, you can look down. Try and lengthen the left hand side of your torso, please, so you're not too scrunched up there. Keep breathing in and out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. Inhale, exhale, look down. Put the hand onto the side of the body, bend the front knee, and then take a little step across. Turn your body now, so the hips have spun a little bit, the hips feel level, the front leg is as straight as you want it to be, but you can bend the knee a little bit if you need to. The arms have the option to reach forwards as you pull backwards through the left hip. Or the options are to have the hands on the waist or at the heart. You're keeping the front spine long. Press into the back heel as much as you can, as well as the front leg. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. As we breathe in, come up to stand. Bend the front knee, an option to take another standing back bend, like a little mini warrior one. Good. And then gently come back, hands at your heart. Lean forwards and step. And bring the hands down by your sides. Excellent. Stand here and just rest for a moment. Tadasana. And just slowly let your energy and your awareness calm down. Good. Last breath. Okay. So we're going to make our way towards the ground. And we're going to do a few more of these kind of deep hip stretches and hamstring openers and etc., etc. And we might potentially work towards a splits position. That doesn't mean I'm expecting you to come into a full splits. Far from it, you do your own practice. But because of that, you might then want to have a brick, and you might well want to have a bolster or even a blanket. So have those things within reach in case you want to use them. Okay. And then we will make our way down to the mat. Hi, Anne, are you just joining us? Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. Okay, so we're going to make our way back down to the mat. I want you to do this in the way that makes most sense to you. You could fold forwards, come into downward dog, bring the knees to the floor, or you could just come down to the ground if you prefer. So you do what works for you and what you feel you need to do. So maybe it's a little fold, gives you a chance just to re-establish a bit of stretch at the back of the legs, to hang your head, to lift your sit bones. Have another breath here. And then we'll walk the hands forwards, the feet back as we come into a downward dog. And we just give the shoulders a nice chance to strengthen, but also stretch. Very nice. And then can you float your knees down to the mat? Okay. So option number one is to step the right foot forwards and to come into, so I'm probably too far along my mat, so I'm going to come back. So you want to start at the back of your mat. Have the right foot forwards, and then you can do this half splits. So this is where you keep your hips roughly above the supporting knee. And then this leg stretches out. You think about your hip crease here. You nearly fell over. You pull back on the hip crease and you fold yourself forwards. Maybe your hands come to the floor. Maybe your hands rest on a brick. And you work at folding so that you're getting that nice big stretch down the back of the leg. Okay, so that's option number one. Option number two, for those that want to, is to do that first, but then to start to wiggle the front leg forwards and forwards and forwards and forwards and forwards, if your mat will allow you, and get yourself as low down to the ground as you can. Maybe the brick goes underneath to give you some support. Maybe the bolster is underneath you for a little bit of support. So have a little play with this and just see where you can get to. Maybe there's a fold forwards in there too. Okay, don't worry, don't force. Do little rocks with the hips, little boogies, because that will help. Nice. Okay, take another breath. The fun bit's always the coming out. So be careful. Support, you can come to the side, but just take care with your knees, please. You might then want to take a little moment in a downward dog again, if that's available to you, just to pedal the heels and notice the difference between the front leg, which was your right leg, and your back leg. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So it's back down to the end of the mat. High kneeling. Left foot steps forwards. We wiggle it an extra bit before we straighten the leg. Dig the heel into the floor. Pull back on the left hip crease. So there's this kind of tilt with the pelvis first of all. And keep tilting, keep tilting, keep tilting. Fingertips come to the floor or onto bricks. You can have the bricks upright, for instance. And you are just working your way down towards this leg. Okay. And it might be that you stay there, you stay for another 20 seconds. Or for those that want to, you can wiggle the leg further forwards and just see. Doesn't have to be forwards in a straight line. It can be forwards slightly out wider to the side. Sometimes these sticky mats are too sticky for their own good. And it makes it kind of harder to slide into these things. So just see where you feel like going tonight. If you want to fold a little bit deeper. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Then gently release. Sit to the side so you can gently sweep your legs. And maybe we just bring both legs forwards. Give the legs a shake out. All right. Take your time. So let's do a little Paschimottanasana. So if you need to, or if you prefer, you can sit on a blanket or a block to help with the tilt forwards of your pelvis. The legs do not have to be straight. You can bend your knees. Make sure you're sitting on your sit bones and towards the front edge of them, so there's the tilt of the pelvis happening again. Take an inhale and raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Dorsiflex the ankles like you did before. And then exhale, draw the navel in and reach forwards to as far as you can go. Keep reaching beyond your toes. Press your legs down into the floor. And then hold your feet or rest your hands onto the ground and fold towards your thighs. Few more breaths, please. And then take an inhale as you lift yourself back up. You pop your hands behind or fingertips behind, you lean back, give the legs a little shake out. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the center of the chest. And then gently curl the shoulders in. And then do the same, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then spread the shoulder blades apart as you round the chest forwards. Go between these two positions a couple more times, inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhale and exhale. Good. Softly and slowly, I'd like you to make your way down to the ground, and we'll finish with a lying twist before we come into Shavasana. So please make yourself comfy. So as you lay down, bring your knees in towards your chest. Take a little rock again, side to side, just like we've done earlier. And then I think I'd like you to choose your back bend to finish the class. Maybe it's the feet on the floor and just the knees falling out to the side. Or maybe this gives you the opportunity to rest your foot onto the knee, to press the knee down if you like that kind of feel. Maybe it's a feet off of the floor and a knees rolling over to the side, kind of 2-knee belly twist. Or perhaps it's one leg straight and rolling the knee across and bringing it down. So you do whichever one appeals to you right now. And let your body find its way into spinal twist to end your practice this evening. Remember to shuffle the upper body around a little bit underneath you if you feel it's got a bit restricted. And then we'll think about doing the other side. So coming out when you're ready. And coming on to the second side. Okay, so take a couple more breaths, please. And slowly return yourself back to the center. Now, do what you need to do to return to neutral. Do you need to roll around a little bit? Do you need to stretch out? And then make sure that you're going to be warm. So the temperature is getting chilly in the evenings now. So make sure that you are suitably wrapped up. Think about spreading your heels out to the corner of your mat. And to think about also, if your hands are resting out by your sides, turn your palms upwards to face the ceiling. You don't have to have the hands in this position. If you'd rather have them resting onto your abdomen, that's okay too. It's important that you find a position that allows you to be completely still now. So still that you can switch off and relax. Once you've found a position that is comfortable for you, we're going to use the breath to help release and relax the body. So I'd like you to think about breathing in and out through your nose. The breath is soft and gentle. It's easy breathing. Now I'd like you to follow the same principles as we did at the beginning, where we breathe up the body on the inhalation and we breathe down the body on the exhalation. Take your attention to your heart center, to Anahata. I'd like you to breathe from your heart up to your nostrils. So that's your inhalation. And your exhalation is from the nostrils back down to the heart. Keep going with this, just this short journeying from the heart to the nose and the nose to the heart. And in that space, requesting that your neck and your shoulders and the upper part of your chest is all relaxing. Every time you take an exhale, you get a little bit more easeful there. Then we're going to take our attention to the navel center. From here, I'd like you to breathe in and up to your nose. And on the exhale, breathe from the nose down to the navel. And you're going to repeat that for a few rounds of your breath. Navel to nose, nose to navel. And beginning to let your digestive organs and your diaphragm relax. Then we go down to the pelvis. You might like to think of the pelvis or as a whole, or you could think about your tailbone. And you're going to breathe from this low position up to the nose, or if you're breathing along your spine, you can breathe to the base of your skull now. As you exhale, it's from the top back down. So you're using your exhalation, remember, to release and to remove. So you're removing strain and tension. You're asking the muscles to relax, the abdominal organs to ease, everything that's contained within your pelvis. Do this for one more round. And then after that, take your attention all the way down to your feet. You're breathing from your feet all of the way up through the entire length of your body, right up to the top of your head this time. As you breathe out, it's from your head all the way down your body, ending at your toes. So you're breathing up, and this energizing, easeful breath is moving through your being. And as you exhale, it's gently combing the head, the shoulders, along the arms, the hands, the whole torso, both legs, and down into the feet. Shifting, releasing, saying goodbye to stale, to the old, to the restrictive sensations in your body or your emotional being. Letting go of what's no longer serving you. Breathing in and allowing space for the new, space for the light, and space for the love to be within you. Do this for a few more rounds, breathing the entire length of your body. One more round. And then let go of this practice. Let your breath return to its own easy rhythm. Stay completely peaceful and at ease. And let your body remain still for these last few minutes of your Shavasana. And so bringing your awareness back into the space that you are in. Doing a little check-in once more for your Shavasana, a check-in for your practice as a whole this evening. What has your practice given you? What gift has it bestowed upon you tonight? Or alternatively, what has it showed you that you'd like to work on, or what frustrations has there been? It doesn't always have to be roses and sunshine. Practice is that, isn't it? It's a practice. So as you bring your awareness back, have a wiggle of your fingers and your toes. Turn your head from side to side. Take a stretch out any way that feels good. And then you can gently make your way around and up to come and sit so we can end our practice together. Right then, so come and sit for a moment, just sit upright, sit with your hands in your lap, turn your palms up perhaps, roll your shoulders back, close your eyes, and take a few soft breaths in and out. Okay. So then to finish, let's bring the arms out to the sides. Breathing the hands up above your head, let them find each other. And exhale, bring the palms down to your heart to bring your practice to its full conclusion. Thank you so much for practicing with me this evening. Namaste to you, and have a very peaceful evening.